Vaccination. That's the word of the moment, especially during this COVID-19 era. We are being advised to get vaccinated, but what is a vaccine? Is it truly safe for us? Why was COVID-19's vaccine developed so quickly? All this and more will be discussed on today's show, so you don't want to miss this. This show is brought to you by Vodafone. Further, together.
Now you can be part of the extraordinary world of endless possibilities on Vodafone. With the best value and amazing data offers and services available in Ghana, your dreams are achievable. Get more for less with Vodafone data. Vodafone. Further together.
In today's story of the day, a routine visit by a community health worker leads to a disturbing discovery in a 7-year-old. More of that to come, but before then, Mythbusters. You see, the slim guy is even shocked at what happened. How dare you? I know some slim people, they pack more than Yankrat City. Hey! Honestly, from a nutritional perspective, malnourishment has got nothing to do with what you physically see. Even though there are people who are really thin, we also do use, we call them clinical signs of malnourishment. We check their clavicles, we check the bones at their back, and sometimes it's so prominent you don't need to even let them take any clothes off, because there are different grades of undernutrition, you see. But just to categorize slim people, you didn't even say thin, you said slim. Some people generally are built slim, but checking everything, their mid-arm circumference, all the other stuff that comes with nutrition, now they are fine. Biochemical and do their labs. They are even stronger than the plump person sitting next to them. And I do not believe that slim people don't eat. Actually, they do eat. Some eat more because most of them actually have a lot more muscle mass. So right. They have higher metabolic rates. Exactly. I had a friend and she was the most tiniest eater at a point, but she eats more than anyone else because every hour or so, when you put all that together, that's a lot of food. Yeah. So as far as I'm concerned, it depends on the circumstance, but it's not generally true.
Thank you very much. Did you welcome me today? I welcome myself.
I'm sorry.
I welcome myself.
I'm sorry, my dear Dr. Yali.
So, yes. Apology accepted. So, back to the myth. I think there's a lot of misconception in the myth, for starters. Now, malnourished does not necessarily mean undernutrition or poor nutrition.
That's also true.
Fat people, let me use the correct word, obese people are malnourished.
Yes.
So, but you see, it's really falls in the place of culture, I think, here. You see, because here in our culture, we see that we like them big. Maybe because of our historical past, where sometime along the line in our history, you realize that I think around the farming, the coups and all that, there was a lot of food scarcity and shortage. Only the affluent had plump, nice-looking children. So it made people want to look that type of way. But like you're saying, being slim does not necessarily mean that you're malnourished. Actually, being obese is malnourished, and that is where I think we should focus our attention on, since that seems more like the problem in our environment now.
Yes, I mean, I think it's true. A person's physical structure is determined by several things. Genetics plays a very, very important role. And you find somebody whose patients are, I keep saying patients. Let me say, occupational hazard, whose parents are small. And invariably, the person will be small in size, even if the person eats very well. Malnutrition, it's a very broad word. There are all kinds of micro and macronutrients that will be deficient. Most of us picture protein, energy, malnutrition, you know, and that's what makes us think, oh, this like marasmus and all of
trade name.
You know, they don't look so slim. Marasmus, we're very lean,
and very hyper.
Yes. But just because you are slim doesn't mean that you are deficient in these things. And like you said, there are a lot of big people who, because of poor eating habits, rather are deficient in several ways. So no, we can't equate it.
And there's a single now phrase for that in nutrition called hidden hunger, because they are plump. Some of them actually look okay. They are not obese or overweight. They look okay. But when you go into it and do the biochemical I mentioned analysis, you realize that they are lacking micronutrients. And that you get in fruits, vegetables, and all these phytochemicals and anti-inflammatory stuff I'm talking about. So I'm just saying, the fact so be more just say, onya, for example, obi more no cause the catch and anemia. Now I am shocked. So Dr. Bididi,
Exactly.
It takes more to make blood than just an so that's what we are trying to say. You're careful in putting people in boxes and in brackets, because I don't think they're fine. I don't think it's nice. Even if culturally, I think Ghana has graduated.
I think we're still getting there. I think because it's Shobi. I say, in fact, I'll give you a personal story.
Why fine?
I'll give you a personal story. So I meet a friend, the school, saying the school. I would like to mention it just for, for the sake of education, that the school is Fansipim School. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yes. So I went to Community School and I saw him after about 8 years or so. I said, okay, now when that was his first comment. Meanwhile, I had been, from time to time checking it, seeing if I'm going, if I'm coming, but the perception is
stay healthy.
The perception is that as you are growing, you must, as a matter of necessity, just be, be enlarging.
Okay.
When you get a new job, when you get married, you must come with, some stomach to show,
Investment,
they call it an investment.
Oh, yes.
Yes. But I think we should really conscientiously, as a people, or the freedom aside, but to a point where we are trying to get more to the ideal weight. I tell most of my patients that your ideal weight is usually your weight in your early adulthood. Usually it's around and say, hey.
By the time you finish your calculation, you realize it's true.
Hey, size 12. They are happy being a 16 or 14. But maybe really the size 12 is their ideal weight. So I think that there's a lot of work that needs to be done.
10 years ago, I was a size 12 and I couldn't wait to put on weight. I'm one of those people that detested being slim. I didn't like it one bit.
Thank God for a testimony on this table. Amen. How do you feel now? Do you want to go back to a size 12?
No, actually, no.
You like being
I'm quite happy with the way I am now.
Tell me what you're happy about now.
But why are you analyzing her? Psychologically analyzing her.
Stay out of this. Sister Ba, please. Please. Only Miss Ghana. Miss Ghana. Do you know when she was in school, she used to be called Miss Ghana?
She is Miss Ghana. She still rocks it.
Miss Ghana. One time someone says, "Oh, I saw you and Dr. Abba." And this time I was like, "She's Miss Ghana." I said, "Yes, she is Miss Ghana."
Well, now that is interesting, and it brings us to how dear little boy Charles was, I say, discovered. It was an interesting way, because a routine visit or home visit that community health workers do actually led to them discovering that this quiet boy, 7-year-old boy, hardly smiles, has quite an investment at the standard term.
Mama won no menchen wa na on some be ni wan kon papa the nipa nso ya wo yan asantefo no ya wo na se wan kon papa sa yi misa yade ni age se be ye se haban be di asena mo aduru me di asesa wo sa anti ye sa no okọ toilet no kakara
e ko ba se mfie yensan ko nan no na fe chas o hon mo na nafu na he kakara o sa na nafu a he kakara kile na ni ko ya vijaz doctor ye ko ya o mo ya pe o mo ntimi ahwe no no mo se ye fa no ko abibiduro o mo tete o mo nso wa bibiduro bi ho doctor fo no wa ho no ye sa de no ko ya e ho nso so antentam.
I'm Ibaije Champon, a registered community health nurse at Asokore in Ashanti region. And during our routine home visits, we met one client who was mentally challenged. And we came there to help the woman. But when we came there, we realized the woman had numerous children. Because she is mentally challenged, men took advantage of her. So we wanted to offer her family planning services so that we can help curb the situation. So when we came to the woman's house, we then realized the woman was having a child who was having distended abdomen.
And I'm besides, then I so. And grandparents na catch me say, I can't know yet normal, but only ni be 2 years say kono who say ne funo eye kese. No mo de ko Efijanse hospital. Omo ko no doctors no e hwe no mo se bibia ni ho, but omo suspect say bia akoshoko.
Na o twimi ni kura na se be one da. Nti wan san so a wonne. Ti hon na ya kan say e woni pule hina we do my wife no so no ko yin no. On si toilet na ye ne yam ma. Na ye le na ye ro pule hu. Ti kan say san. Ni hom omo san.
Omo kan story ni tren na na hu say there be. E was say dey omo ko hospital na ye hu de e koso because it's not normal. Ye do mo ko hospital no mo share omo with labs and other things na mo yes omo be share ni free amaye. Into omo share ni free into through the procedure no mo share no mo hu say omo diagnosis say a Hirschsprung disease e was some refer to confanoche. Then you refer to confanoche, it means you hear sika.
So we lobbied for funds and we got 800 cedis. We got an amount of money that we could use for transportation and then the labs, and when it gets to the surgery, we can find what to do or we will follow up from there. So finally, we took him to Confanoche. We did all the lab and then the examinations, and then they realized he was diagnosed of Hirschsprung disease, which requires surgery. So we were stuck. We don't have any funds for the surgery.
Yeah, research ni try say you be here sika not less than 4,000 Ghana cedis ana. Yes, something to us because how are we going to get the fund?
Afi magbamu abu ni sika. Abamu abu. Doctor Foy die. Omo ya de ntie. Omo ye de ko yin nyina na Doctor Foy ni tua no fe no eye bibia. Omo na hwe no. Ya akoduro ni say. We say when you change ni a etu okura auto embo. Nisi mini kapre na mura funfo se omo be so mu ama me nanan onwa ahwem bia ma no ti nyame nam da na se ti mi da mu nyina simida mura funfo nyina se so mo so masene a omo so mbabo am nti sa ka me enye na me fa ndi ba pia me fa
Me see news no, I was so happy Because now you need baby that amount of money because for the first one it wasn't easy.
We thank Vodafone Healthline a lot. They've really helped us to relieve our burden. We are most grateful for Vodafone Healthline.
I said, Dr. Freeman, some in Pachas and now. Now, what can't you say? Vodafone for see a better chance, Mamma. And I'm not chasing, you can't call me, I'm calling my phone. I am a dapa, and don't tell me, you don't want to see. Some of them, none of chance, Mamma.
I must applaud that health worker.
Applaud, commend, recommend, appraise, but one more. Celebrate.
Promote if you had the power.
Thank you very much. I wish our service promotes things like this, honestly. I think it was very, very, very impressive.
Yes.
You know, it wasn't even what they were going to do. They just saw it as being medically trained. They thought something was amiss.
Yes.
Now we'll call in, we'll try to raise funds, we'll try to, get the boy some help. I think it was really impressive. And I pray that most of us in the health service regain that vigor to do more for our patients.
But what's interesting is that she didn't even go there for the boy.
Yes.
She went there for the mother.
Yes.
Because she has many children and she herself had a little issue with, her health. And they discovered him. I think that's going above and beyond. But medically speaking, what causes this, really? Him being born, not being able to pass through properly. And the way that the grandfather said, yes, sana, boy na bre. I can imagine the issues going down there.
So his tummy is probably distended because of issues related to his bowel.
Yes.
I think the nurses mentioned Hirschsprung, which is a condition that affects the large bowel and causes, and it's because of abnormalities with the nerve supply to that part of the bowel. And so it dilates and just accumulates everything that is put into it, and it's unable to move it forward so that it expels it. So if you have a bowel that is big and all the food you've eaten is inside it and it is being digested and is going putrid and the bowel is unable to absorb all the nutrients, then you will become malnourished because you're not getting the nutrition that you need. Secondly, because of all that accumulation, the more it accumulates, the higher and higher up that it climbs up, the bowel. So you get to a point where a child might be vomiting fecal matter. It can be rather harrowing, really. Yes. No. Not to mention the infections because they are malnourished. The vomiting leads to the food going down the airway, so recurrent chest infections. And then the social bit of it, the stigma. There's so much that goes on with these patients.
But the good thing there's help. There's help. The Mabakan say it's a very complex to understand the human body is a blessing, in my opinion. To understand what goes on, how it works, and all that. In there, it has a mind of its own. Nangso na adwendema na what the first thing o na adwenchede ohunde it's banaba mimia no nko na enyim mimia no nko na it has a mind of its own, and it's a whole new neurochemical thing going on there. It is a part or apps only hokra. I don't know why you need to chat. Why I know what you imagine where to chat. Also the nerves is a problem of the nerves, yes. Why I know what you imagine no alcohol where to chat. So there's nothing there. Time my body no forming. Time my nerves no do ogni no be shit. Muscles no. Na oye that my action. Oh you never no original baby. Traffic chin. To continue. Then this has happened to so it's been other intestine, oh yeah, the man, the mind, oh yeah, the more good one, all dust is that it stays there, the more becomes big and big. Now, in addition to the man, a year old big offending, Dr. Abba said, untumin jam, also respiratory embarrassment, chest, offending, pneumonia, and uncontrolled narcoco, infections or honum. Na general then ye fu nankasa so ade keside ya o hwe ho no ma bia sebsebe mpre sa tie fishim kesidam can imagine what's the ego ho no pa wo fe enampa ebumudo wo fe a onda nyimpa bia Friday ediban na oba but you force fecal or your toilet ankasa no poi oba mobom I hope there this boy hadn't gotten there. So when they say one was there, no worse and seek help. Unfortunately, in workers and it's also the Oko hospital first. Doctors instead of nephew. I mean, they be a moon catching there. I usually want to believe what the parents are saying, but sometimes at the time of presentation, evidence to it may not be enough, may not be striking. But a coffee, that's any happier. Son Doctor Honum, a cannot say. Still more can when you and Ja call another hospital. Yes. Then we go to a doctor for children. I'm refer. What can refer? I'm refer from. If you want them more, just go to another hospital. Now one share. On those local gene, no more doctors near different levels. Then you will be able to or you're better. So if you're not happy with the child's condition, despite seeing a health practitioner, please
look for another one.
Second opinions. Do seek a second opinion.
Second opinions don't hurt. We'll be right back.
Also bet me your Quenyas from Ko aye nije ye power Vodafone so. Ye the data bundles are any seso Ghana ha bro. Ye more dia so. Ye ni da so nyina bem. Enti beka ye ho. Ya data mo ni je power bebre.
Vodafone, further together.
About vaccination ya tia owa ya se fa obaniko wen you kwa ne awo ne pane bi. Person to kwan say yellow fever bi meningitis bi mo anwo passport ya mo tutu kwan someone who be bu also how say hepatitis B we need be akọ vaccine ya tia COVID-19 so ba ya say enkowo vaccine ankasa eno ne den ye beti ase yie eye ma na enkwala na but na be focus more on COVID-19 there no. To help us understand this, we have Dr. Adomako here. He's going to explain it to us, and we hope that at the end of this your mind will be at ease. Doc, welcome to Vodafone Healthline.
Thank you.
Doc, for the sake of those who do not completely understand what the vaccine is, when it comes to weighing, for the sake of your child, you just comply. But we want to educate today. If you could start from there, what is a vaccine? What does it really do? And then, escalate that to COVID-19 for us.
All right. Thank you very much. So, your vaccine, let me use a country as an example. In fact, vaccines generally belong to what you call immunization. A vaccine or vaccination is just one type of immunization. So generally, if you have a country, you say Ghana, you will emphasize the security services are omobo huban. Omobo omani na huban if we especially soldiers protect us against invasion, external invasion. And I'm say Ghana, if it is a woman, say Ghana country be any Ghana akontokwa. Enti you see that our soldiers are either omoko or mindful for soko eco protect you more, and I say we don't see them much. And you realize that people start complaining when the military tend to reinforce internal security because that is not their job. And Tisana vaccines, why they get into the body to protect us, so to excite the soldiers. But generally, they belong to a group of processes that we call immunization. And the vaccines are what you call acquired, artificially acquired immunity.
Okay.
So it means that we are introducing foreign substances to the body to start or to activate the soldiers in the body.
Okay. Artificially acquired. You know, who naturally acquired one.
So naturally acquired so who say obi any infection be a common example chicken pox. A tiefo nyina na say omo a ahwefo nyina bekaya omo nya chicken pox tama no musa no omo nyini ye no other people will get chicken pox or in their household obi abenya bi omo kwa no omo nya bi nti no once you get the natural infection of chicken pox no the soldiers in your body are activated TFN antibodies, so you develop antibodies against that infection. So for the rest of your life, once you have had the infection before, it's just like yama vaccine pepe, but this time you are getting the infection through natural means. So you develop antibodies against it. And it's synonymous with vaccination, but vaccination is man-made. We are actually and I am more dubia sonum as in crani DNB. And I say, the BB show scheme. So it's man-made. That's what makes it artificial.
Lab.
Okay. But natural one, say when you infect
now.
Exactly. And I say bia ma menya yenyem akra no or one ma me yemono and na ma menya infection, and I say ne ma menya antibodies no ye ma ne ma me immunization and antibodies ni be cross say I would the chi the placenta no and it go to the child. So if a mother gets malaria, for instance, or gets treated for, that's why you're paying for more antenatal, your mom, what you call IPT, your mom malaria drew. So once they are protected or they have antibodies, the antibodies are able to cross the placenta and the children get antibodies. Into natural, naturally acquired immunity. Yeah.
Pacho, into about COVID-19 now, and also your natural. And they were artificial ana. They see no waka lab into atiasia and only artificial ana. And is it possible to have a natural quote unquote immunity against COVID-19?
Great. Inti pepe. So infection ni na so in infectious diseases transmission the same, they all follow. So whether it's TB, it's COVID-19, malaria ni na the same. Inti the one so be anko vaccine abano, and the artificial one. But the natural one, like I said, people who have gotten infected in the past, COVID-19 be pain or recover, they are also likely to produce antibodies. But there's a but.
Okay, but.
But now when they say no, because of any natural, obian tested, COVID-19 about say any attraction but then bebre sa nti enim nyoma bebre fa no ho. So when it comes to the natural immunity there's a but, because we haven't done a lot of studies to show say how long and as obinya infection antibody even the extent crowd of protection be lasting. But when it because of say we have followed what you call the clinical trials, so randomized control trials, and that all means say when nipa nim die mu na ya fa nipa kuo mienu ya wo we vaccine bi na ya wo we vaccine and ya follow mu, but natural untimi enkoye sa that is the difference. But truly there are people who have gotten COVID-19 or more developing antibodies their protection may be similar to oma vaccine, but like I said, it is not in a control setting.
Yes.
And especially disease aba eku nipa yensa unsteady ni bebre no. You need to be, I mean, err on the side of caution than to say, I'm sorry. So that is why emphasizes so much on the natural,
the artificial one.
We are focusing so much on the artificial, but not so much. We are not placing so much premium on the natural one.
Doc, you mentioned clinical trials. What you might do, I could see so. As a back on common, we did kakra, say Jane and I are concerned. Nah, no more seeing vaccine, dear. First, no, as a vaccine, but say I'm found one panel. Nipa that's a safe, not any public health push. No, it's a big cry more than 10 years.
Right.
With different steps. Yeah. Oh, clinical trials being one of them. But COVID-19, dear, no, 1 year, boom. I mean, don't kind idea no kono. Na do akọ kind. And forget. Oh, into your mind dream the ase into safety no ho na say anya bia o ye you see as guinea pigs ana. Right.
A password raise this point. So it's true. I mean, vaccine there ye de manipa. I mean, the vaccine be mam and more say bio but for vaccines that are being developed for humans, no, there are ethics and the protocols. And like you rightly said, it takes a number of years. There are clinical phase, about 4 stages or 4 phases. And each phase be also, at least, there are a number of years. So vaccines can take 10 years, 20 years. You malaria vaccines are. I started taking malaria vaccine. I'm in medical school. My medical school we are 10 years. I mean the malaria vaccine is still hanging. About your kind of efficacy, you know, it's not what you wanted. So it tells you that vaccines are not something that you accept and start using, because vaccines in the past are causing more problems than good. And vaccines are chemicals. They help your body, and it needs to go through the requisite, processes to be able to confirm its safety. Importantly, the safety and they say the efficacy. So say the adwuma say and sound cause problems baby. One thing about COVID-19 is I'll go through, even though I'll go through that process, but then that number of years now, we know vaccines usually go through. But then, the world was hit with a problem. And it called for everybody. So like you said, now people who are not even scientists, who are not even doctors, know more about COVID-19 because everybody is reading, everybody is concerned, governments are concerned. So, everybody was bringing his or her ideas. But ocean so we are so you're calling him. And ocean first now computer na ye. Do it to occupy the whole room. Yeah. But say, I mean, you have your laptop that you can carry everywhere. And it also tells us that COVID-19, in fact, has taught us a lot of things. Initially, I mean, students didn't even know, classroom work can be done virtually. You can do exam in Ghana, elsewhere they were doing, but in Ghana it wasn't something that was popular. But after COVID, Zoom, everybody knows Zoom. Everything Zoom. So it also tells us that COVID, Amaya who said, of course, vaccines take that long period to, be tested, tried and tested to become acceptable for use in the general population. But in emergency settings, there are also protocols and the ethics allow that, especially when the important steps, efficacy, safety, has been guaranteed. The other steps like, giving the vaccine to a wider population, what you call the post-market surveillance, giving the vaccine to a larger population and observing what you call idiosyncrasies. I mean, inipa gwa hodo obi ho no ma vaccine ye tested on normal people no I mean no ma omo nyare no bibia nsi but obeba in the in the total population, obi wo some genes be a effect be better there. And we are more serious, so the vaccine needs to be withdrawn. Even though say you can go through that stage, but the first 3 stages that looks at safety and efficacy, it went through. And again, technology was made use of because OSHA vaccines are, and go through vaccinology kakra and immunology kakra. OSHA vaccines are different types of vaccines in terms of the makeup. So we can have what you call live attenuated vaccines. Ebini polio, any yellow fever, and no, a organism na ena yabone kakra. Ama say yamana 8 days kakra. Into it is not able to cause cause disease na organism na ankasa cause no. And no, you were killed. And no the kuno kra. So like I said, you want to vaccine the rationale behind vaccine is to activate the soldiers in our body. And to cause false alarm. Into vaccine, what vaccine is that? And yet, yare na ankasa and our body no mbade mum bibia ebe make yare no. Said the body no in quote has been fooled, but in a good way to start activating the soldiers to get ready. Into I say, oh yeah, Ghana na ni alarm of blow say, oh Burkina Faso be attacking. Usha soldiers no be story gidi ebe ko border corona, but ebi anaye false alarm. But still they've been activated into different type of vaccine. But Usha COVID-19 vaccine, first one I buy what you call mRNA vaccine. A genetic makeup and yet killed and yet like it's not like the old ones, no. And what I want, the message I want to say pass across is that even though say vaccine no trials now and go through that 30 years, 20 years, 10 years, no, but technology was made use of. Okay. And the most important phases, which is the phase 1, phase 2, which looks at efficacy. That is vaccine. The Juma and the Juma say no. In this case, no, say be reduce severe disease, any deaths. It me and that answer or that question was answered yes. The other one is that side effects, no, a side effect are way, a drop vaccine be our side effects. That one nobody will run away from that. But the side effect is it something that is more than what say disease no honoma. Because if you ask I always tell people that life we live in is all about competition. It's all about competition. So you way say adewe we no say wanya ensunsu aso ne say we yensu and ensunsu because bibia ensunsu aso. So you always way say yes. And to sha say ma vaccine na adwuma vaccine be ye no in terms of safety and efficacy no you weigh the two, it is far more than say one vaccines now.
So can we summarize and say that the COVID-19 vaccine, regardless of the variant and the type you went for, its aim is not to prevent reinfection. So we should still stick to protocols, COVID-19 protocols. But the main aim is to prevent you from dying or getting serious illness.
Thank you very much.
Can we just say that as a summary?
That is an excellent input. So in summary, what I would say is that for us in public health, in disease prevention, we talk about 4 levels of prevention. And levels ni here. So level 1, government. So that one we call it primordial. So government will put in place measures and order. The notion COVID-19, a disease we see that government is involved everywhere. A policy issue, and that is being done. The second one, which is population-based, primary level of prevention. And the primary level of prevention, the first one are usually general health promotional measures. I know health education, so wearing of your mask, keeping distance, your distance and all that. Very important. And then we have an added intervention, which is specific protective intervention. That is the vaccination. And you cannot only practice the vaccination in isolation. And this are you will be caught unawares. And this are you can't say vaccine. It means we are doing one out of a number of things that we need to do to break the chain of transmission. So vaccine should be seen as complementary and as a part of all the other interventions.
Dr. Adomako does. Yeah, nyoma wo ho. But ya kabi. At least I hope say ne aka no what ya say what to me ama the questions bebe na wadwumu fa vaccination vaccine ya COVID-19 vaccine no say no mo fa so de buy ne sanyoma ni nyina no aboa kakra. But two or more questions our doctors will hold on. You can always go and talk to your doctors about it. And then let's all make Ghana a better place. Thank you, Doc, once again.
You're most welcome.
We'll be right back.
So that mom can be able to open the door.
This is it.
Please open the door.
Here's my little brother doing something special. He's setting the camera up with another bright idea.
Let's just open the door.
Yay!
Mom, I got this.
Now you can be part of the extraordinary world of endless possibilities on Vodafone. With the best value and amazing data offers and services available in Ghana, your dreams are achievable. Get more for less with Vodafone data. Vodafone, further together.
Charles is beginning to smile because he's undergone a surgery and it was successful. Let's go have a look.
I'm Dr. Michael Amwa. I'm the head of pediatric surgery unit at the Confanochi Teaching Hospital. We're in theater once again, and today we are having a surgery for Charles Jamna, 8 years old boy who presented with difficulty in passing stools. He was born with this condition, but they've not sought medical attention for him until recently. From our examination and investigations done, we've diagnosed him with Hirschsprung disease, which is a condition that affects the distal part of the GIT, the gastrointestinal system. And this makes it difficult for such patients to pass stools. And as a result, their abdomen become enlarged and they tend to lose weight. They don't grow up well as it's supposed to be. So because of the challenges that they had in mobilizing funds for this surgery, it delayed. But thankfully, Vodafone Healthline came to his aid, and because of that, today we are ready for the surgery. What we are going to do is that we are going to remove the part of the intestine that is not functioning. And then we will bring down the functioning part of the intestine to the anus so that from now on he would be able to pass stools. Today we did a surgery for Charles Jamna, 8 years old, who has been diagnosed with Hirschsprung disease. And largely the surgery was a success. We started the surgery from the abdomen and to release the bowel, and then we completed it with dissection from the inner region. And everything went smoothly. For now, it's going to be kept meal per hour for about 48 hours, and then he will start feeding. And from now onwards, he should be able to pass those without any difficulties, unlike before. Thank you.
App so that mom can be able to open the door.
This is it. Here's my little brother doing something special. He's setting the camera up with another bright idea.
Let's just open the door.
Yay!
Mom, I got it.
Afedie, musu betumi anya kwanya sronko a ye nije ye power Vodafone so. Ye di data bundles a eni seso Ghana ha bro. Ye ma da ye so, ye ni da so nyina bem. Enti beka ye ho, nya data mo ani je power bebre.
Vodafone, further together.
For this week in medicine today, we talk about the history of vaccines. Indeed, there's been a lot of hula baloo about vaccinations in recent times. Well, the first vaccine was introduced by the British physician Edward Jenner in 1976. He used the cowpox virus to confer protection against smallpox. The idea of vaccination is to use a substance similar to, but safer than the index disease to confer immunity. In 1881, the French microbiologist Louis Pasteur demonstrated immunization against anthrax by injecting sheep with a formulation-attenuated form of bacillus to cause the disease. In 1885, the rabies vaccine was developed. Since then, vaccines have been created for various diseases, including but not limited to measles, typhoid fever, cholera, tuberculosis, hepatitis, yellow fever, to name a few. Do you remember the 6 killer diseases? Yes, they used to wreak havoc among children under 5 in the not so far past. They included polio, TB, measles, to name a few. Thankfully, the EPI, the Expanded Program of Immunization, was started in 1978 in Ghana with 6 vaccines to reduce the incidence of such diseases, with a simple strategy of reaching every child. The program currently has 13 vaccine-preventable diseases covered. The past 2 years have indeed been trying times globally, dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic. Thankfully, vaccinations have been made available. On the 24th of February 2021, the first batch of vaccines were shipped from Mumbai to Ghana, with the first phase of vaccinations of COVID-19 starting in March 2021. Indeed, the world has seen some improvement with the spread of COVID-19 once the vaccine was developed and reach is spreading. And that's some year can vaccination honsem. I'll check down them from your one or weighing, oh, pansy, boa, what one first day na first week, woman people win, oh, one. Panze, often vaccination. A vaccination at all yan day. Oma yen, and more will come on then. Dema won't tum 1 man yarba. But to tum ye bodim onya soldiers na ono boku against yarba nankasa se yarba neba. Ochede, I dema, what the adibia onya yarban? What the che umujan, wanya soldiers and na kufu. The mobile say yarba nankasa ba ubody why you ready. Ono na ye use yeza bombo from the pi won ho ban where away na child welfare clinic here nansin wo kwa won panza oninti nansin befumon won COVID-19 bay ya bro ya si mankasa but vaccinations wonya vaccine wo pandi ye hu de awon wo nya yarba na nanu ye den wa befum na yarba no so stala all pitin so seb all befum onjai but all befum na idanyame asire ma anyim dia ide hu vaccinations and a vaccine nature kwan. This is all we have for this week in medicine.
Welcome to Jules in the kitchen with me, Frima, and then I can was some pepper, the brofu friend cloves, no. Pepper, I'm reading. I did know reading to all the new and the quadrants open a pan, cover brain for brain to a animal. Pepper and casano, as usual, anti-inflammatory and the antibacterial, so antioxidants to be brave woman. And then I can my big words. Antioxidants no mapumudin actually and also with hormonal balance. Ewo imamutitsu. Pepper anti-inflammatory ejuma ye nintino. Impempi no ebi ma ye no to say oil cra say almost see omo ya omo de ye to say first aid answer mako hu dentist. Eboa pan. Afa ebi so cra de bi tu wonu mu wonka. Oh na wonya sure be free anya halitosis de na ye medical problem no. Bo o to de bi awa je na bi bi o pese o tinanum kakra. The kakra baku mienu bi tu na no say na num ate wine because of antibacterial na meka earlier no. Inti pepper is good, but pepper de baako e wo ho say to me prevent blood clotting. Inti di manebro soa, one more tissue no mo your friend of blood thinning medications. Mummy anya careful because emwa into super pepper kebe anka te pepper so e wo aduane wo sa kind of medication bia. Pepper so to me ma sugar cut down. So, you think a diabetes because say never born you, but one you careful and balancing ye people call hypoglycemia because I saw a diabetic and Dr. Suma withdrew. It's me careful pepper or diabetic medication so as to pepper. And your mom you know and person me come saying you careful pepper because I'm hearing so it can actually peel your mouth. So far you be bregu anuma about what through anuma just so journey. But pepper packs a punch. To me and can you fuck a crown surgery. That's all I have to say.
I say pepper packs a punch. It's to fak is like a pepper never for the average.
Mr. Cloves.
Cloves in a matter. Cloves. Thank you. No meaning temper me.
Wow.
Don't do that.
I would say that my highlights for today, the health worker, second opinion, those two things stood up for me. Because if you're not blessed with a health worker like this beautiful lady of ours, seek a second opinion. But the best part is 255. I mean, what better second opinion than that? It's free. Like it's free. You can call them. They can tell you which nearest hospital they believe has the right person to see, especially who they are koswa. Who for 255 now? And also they are koswa. My doctor must say, also say, so still no. Any ka kwa ha mum ne koshe. Na boa na one nanti. So me, that's my highlight. Yeah.
Fema, it's really the issue about nutrition, and the perception and the misconceptions that we have about it. Oh, this year Ghana na ide obia pedoye kesi chofu no chede ye. E wara na sane kesi also we show ye. We yesterday did na wo buzafunka de mo show ye. So you see, it's like we are constantly pushing ourselves towards a place which is evident now. This is infectious diseases are no longer the real cause health burden we have now. Non-infectious, diabetes, hypertension, it seems to be the diseases that are hitting us strongly now. And because of some of these misconceptions that we've had, because today, young boy, 30 years, when you're BP, when you're mojabushu, young boy, first you hear these things at 40, but now it's coming really low. Let's get good information. Let's not dwell on misconceptions. You don't have to be that obese to be appreciated. You see, and especially for the young ladies, you realize that it really plays on their mind and their body image perception and all of that. I think there's someone for everybody. So if you're slim by nature, keep it. If you're in time, everything will fall in place.
Abba.
Yes, I think that I just want to highlight the fact that COVID-19 is with us. Now Ghanaians are walking around town like the disease is gone. We're feeling free. So we should try and go back to where we were before COVID. So we have really let ourselves go. But remember to wear your mask. It still works. It's still important. Continue to wash your hands. And importantly, get vaccinated. The misconceptions are many, but we know from world history that vaccines have been pillars of transformation as far as healthcare is concerned. This may be new. We're all learning about it. But I think that we should participate in this endeavor to help us understand the disease better. That way we can fight it. get vaccinated, get vaccinated.
Get
Get
vaccinated.
vaccinated
And
for
if you're not
COVID-19.
sure about vaccination, call 255 once again.
255.
Second opinions, anything at all, call 255 medically. I don't mean anything,
If
meaning
you
money.
think your weight is also
Call
to
255.
call 255.
Call 255.
Call 255.
We are happy that you spent this lovely time with us. We've enjoyed ourselves. We've learned a lot, and I hope that our misconceptions about COVID-19 vaccine has been dispelled. Till we meet again next week. It's bye for now.
Bye.
Vodafone, further together.